There we go. Not only did my Streamlabs software crash on me, but it also hammered all the settings I had on here, so I was on mute for a couple minutes too. The hits keep coming. Hopefully I didn't lose too many people on that brief silent stretch. So, exhibit halls. Today, the exhibit hall to be seeing is the MISC hall. The other hall doesn't have anything in it today. Ignore the fact that it says Drake Interplanetary. There is nothing there, really, honest. You wouldn't want to see anything from Drake anyway. So, off to the MISC hall. Give Drake. I knew Legend would say something on that one. Still wait. There we go. I was beginning to wonder if the elevator would ever get me here. So, let's talk MISC. Drake forever. Some things never change. MISC stands for the Musashi Industrial Spaceflight Concerns. And let's see what they have to say about that here at the kiosk.
It's common knowledge that MISC builds some of the hardest working ships around. But to get that tough, a lot of thought and careful consideration had to go into even the smallest of details. To find the best panel adhesive, MISC ran over 1 million thermocycle shock tests at their R&D center. The winner alone was able to survive tens of thousands of cycles without failing. Talk about being built to last.
Yeah, I've got a very soft spot in my heart for MISC because they were effectively the first starship I had in the game. Technically, the Aurora MR was the first ship I had in the game, but before the day was over, I had already upgraded to a freelancer, so I'm a fan. Got another, we have actually a surprising number of kiosks here on the upper level here.
MISC's latest addition to their already impressive line of ships perfectly encapsulates the spirit of this year's IAE. Push the boundaries of the known universe with their new multi-crew wayfarer ship, the Odyssey. Get a sneak peek in the Holo Viewer room, only at the IAE.
You know, I would have put that down there in the Holo Viewer room rather than up here, but, you know, hey, whatever. You know what, I didn't actually check to see where everything was at the map, so let's take a quick look at the map here. Okay, looks like they got everything in multiple wings today. That's going to make life entertaining. Okay, well, up front here we've got the Prospector on the left, which is a one-man mining vessel. On the right we have the MISC Razors, 3 variants, racing vessels. I like them. They're not very... They kind of are a bit lacking as far as, you know, racing speed. But I still like them. And then over here, we have the Starfarer Gemini. And you know what? Because I'm a twisted and evil human being, we are going to rent the Gemini so I can show you why I consider it a nightmare and why I consider it to be a future highly important ship. But seriously, ugh. They say don't be evil, but you know what? Some days I'll be evil. This could be one of them. We're going to run all the way over to the other side of the hall. They really overdid it, I think, the size of the exhibit halls. I mean, it's a long run. Heaven knows what happens if I were to walk it. I would be here the entire stream, getting from one end to the other. Now over here, we're going to see the Reliant Series. They're kind of a funny ship. They park horizontally, but they fly with the wings vertical from each other. So they literally, if you've seen the B-Wing Starfighter in Star Wars, that would give you a pretty good idea of how this operates. One of these is for freight, one of these is a fighter. Oh, there's 4 of them, my bad. And one of them is actually, and this is what really makes me highly impressed, one of these vessels is built for journalism. It apparently will have cameras instead of weaponry. It's got like a zillion MFDs in the support seat, where theoretically they're going to put camera controls. Whenever that manages to go in, it's going to be pretty awesome. But I have a sneaking feeling that is pretty low on the priority list for development. Such is life. And now we are going to go to the diametric other side of the expo hall. So we're going to do our absolute best to have a heart attack running across the hall. I keep waiting for my heart rate monitor to go crazy. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't. Possibly because I'm only wearing an undersuit as opposed to armor. If I were wearing medium armor, I would be feeling this. If I were wearing heavy armor, I'd probably be keeled over dead. One of these days, I'm going to try to grab heavy armor and see how long I can run on it before I collapse. I kind of want to science that someday. Now there's future stream material right there. I've got another entertaining bit of stream plans, possibly next week. It should be entertaining. And that's all I'll say about that right now. And here we have probably the most well-known MISC starship, the Freelancer series. The base Freelancer, the DUR, which is the exploration variant, the MAX, which is the cargo hauling variant, and that's the one that's going to be competing heavily with the Argo Raft, and the MISC, which is the missile boat variant. Hey, look at all the space ding-dongs. I knew I could count on Legend to make a comment on that vein somewhere along the line. And we are going to rent the MISC because, you know, there's every possibility I'll have the urge to shoot something somewhere along the line of the stream, and why not do it with a lot of missiles? And now, the moment that we have been waiting for. We're going to go down to the Hollow, viewers, and we're going to see what MISC has coming up, including their newest concept offering. So huff, puff, huff, puff. I'll make it to the stairs. My heart's not going to burst, really. Let's see if I can vault the glass. Haha, I did. Now that got my heart rate up a little bit. MISC has no ground vehicles, or at least I'm pretty sure it has no ground vehicles. So we don't have anything in the downstairs display hall. So it's all back here. Now on this side we have the Hull series. I think this looks like one of the Hull E's, no, Hull C. I was talking about the cargo containers for the Argo Raft. This is the next step up. Okay, technically the Hull A or B might be the next step up, but Hull C is the one that's most likely to come into the game first. Maybe. And you can see it's going to be carrying cargo containers on its exterior. And it's carrying a lot of them. So if you figure that each of those containers is 32 SCU, then we are looking at a bucket load of cargo. So if you want to be a serious hauler, the Hull series are likely going to be the ships of choice. In fact, since it is MISC Day, the Pledge Store will have at various intervals, one of which is already passed, where you can pick up the Hull E, which is the biggest hauler that will be in the game, at least at this time. It's the kind of thing that depopulates star systems of cargo. I imagine it'll be a little more complicated as time goes on, but the Hull E is going to be scary big and scary full of stuff. Now in here, we have And this is probably the hull A. Hey, out of the way, buddy. Yes, the hull A. And the hull A, again, cargo containers on the side, just 4 of them. But, you know, that's 32. I'm presuming those are the 32. They might be smaller. I don't know. But they've got capacity. This is the smallest of the hull series. And this is the Endeavor. And the Endeavor was, it probably still is, I guess it still is going to be the priciest. I really don't know, actually. How much does the Endeavor retail for? I know it's a little more complicated because the Endeavor has modules that you could purchase separately. So that kind of changes its price point substantially. We're seeing the Endeavor in its base configuration, I think, right now, which is basically without any modules whatsoever. Let me see if I can get a higher view. The base isn't that high, but including modules, it's the most expensive. Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, we're not seeing the modules on the holotank here. But it's something that will be adaptable for whatever kind of role you want to have for it, honestly. I mean, it seems to have medical, it's got scientific, it's got agricultural modules. I mean, I'm imagining the Endeavor is whatever you want it to be. I think it's even got a hangar module, so you can actually land a couple ships in it. Small ones, but still. Okay, the tease is over. Now for the big one. The MISC Odyssey. Brand spanking new. What do they have to say about it? Its focus is exploration. Survey distant frontiers and explore the furthest reaches of space with the MISC Odyssey, the most advanced and complete exploration ship available to civilians. Designed to be supremely self-sufficient, the Odyssey comes with an onboard refinery with built-in mining tech, expansive capacity for supplies, and a hangar capable of housing a small ship, along with comprehensive, comfortable accommodations for a crew of 7. So let's take a look at this. And clearly they've already got the model kitted out as far as the exterior goes, which leads me to believe that this may not be in concept for 5 years. This may actually be rolling around, I'm not going to say next year, but possibly the year after, because they've already got the Corsair on deck from Drake Interplanetary. Why they would waste their time on that, I don't know, but you know. So we're going to take a brief segue here, since we're going to talk to F12. 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 Oh, is my chat going nuts again? Words were in the way. Oh, I gotcha. I was trying to figure why are we talking F12? The only reason I can usually think of is that the chat's being annoying, which, to be fair, they often are. It is a decent-looking ship as far as MISC design goes, although I imagine that certain individuals will have problems with the cockpit or the flight deck, because it seems like it's going to have the same kind of viewport that is common with MISC vessels. So now that we've seen that, we're going to take a quick diversion, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the Odyssey. So let's take a look to see what they have to show. Take exploration farther than ever before. Survey distant frontiers, and seek the undiscovered reaches of the galaxy with MISC's Odyssey. I think I've already read most of this from the plaque they had. So we'll just skip down here and go take a look at their concept art here. Cargo hold, 252 standard cargo units. That's a pretty respectable number. I don't know if it's more than the Carrack has. I think the Carrack is going to have to be considered the main competitor for the Odyssey. Could be wrong on that one. And I don't have their specs handy, so I want to say Carrack has more cargo, but I can't prove it. Still, there's more to this than the cargo hold. Weapons and shields. 3 remote-operated turrets, size 5 guns. 4 strategically positioned missile racks, and quote-unquote shields that are built to take a beating. What that means, God only knows. Remote turrets are probably a decent choice. It'll certainly reduce the amount of running that has to be done. On the Carrack, you gotta run to the turrets and, arm them in their manual. Whether they're better or not, I don't know. I think the size guns are bigger on the Odyssey. Again, I don't have the Carrack stat sheet in front of me, which is probably my bad there. I probably should have planned better for this, but oops. Not the first time. Next, the hangar. And they say it can handle small ships. And there's a package out there that seems to claim that one of the ships that can fit in their hangar would be the Aegis Saber. So we're not talking snub ships here. We're talking actual smaller ships like possibly Gladiuses, Arrows. Maybe not the Arrows. Arrows have those fold-up wings. That could be a problem. But still, that's a pretty decent-sized hangar. Moving further, medical bay. Tier 2 medical bay. So that is definitely right up there with the Carrack, which has the same sort of thing. So they're pretty much equal in that arena. Now here's the unique part of the vessel Odyssey. It has a remote-operated mining arm and tractor beam. And here's the thing. You can pull out a Quantanium, and you can use the refinery on the ship to make your own quantum fuel. Think of it. Think of never having to land at a spaceport for fuel. Of course, I noticed it says quantum fuel, but it doesn't mention anything about hydrogen fuel. Then again, I'm sure it has hydrogen scoops, just like just about every other ship. And here we go. Onboard refinery. Oh, I take it back. Gas captured by ship intakes automatically converted to hydrogen fuel. So this baby will make its own hydrogen fuel and its own quantum fuel, if you can, get the Quantanium. And that is actually a pretty impressive fact. That makes it, when they say extending your expeditions indefinitely, take it seriously. None of the other exploration ships can do that. You can't do it on the Carrack. You can't do it on the Corsair, I'm pretty sure. This is the big, and that makes sense. That would be MISC that would do something like that because this is their thing. This is their hat. So let's take a look at the decks here. We've got a gravity generator. There's the refinery. This is on the after deck, which I'm guessing is the sub deck. Engines and main elevator. Main deck. The center deck. You got a bridge. Shocker, right? Component access. Very easy. Remote weapons are up in the front, so, you don't have to go very far. Hey, finally, a reason for them to have 4 chairs in the bridge area. One of the big gripes about the Freelancers is it's got 4 seats in the front, and only one of them really needs to be used, the pilot. That'll change someday, but it still has 2 seats too many, I think. There's the elevators again. Escape pods. Granted. Crew quarters. Looks a little... Okay, unless... I wonder if those are separate crew quarters. Would everybody get their own quarters? That's actually pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. That puts a cut above the Carrack, for example, which has a crew quarter area, but they're all bunks in the same area, common area. Of course, it was a military ship originally, so that explains that. But this seems to be implying that it has crew quarters for every individual person. So I like that. I like that. Got the mess hall in the front. Well, the center here. Got a locker room all the way back here. Okay. It has docking collar large, for space stations and a docking collar small for starships. Do I think the MISC Odyssey is better than the Carrack? Well, hello, Fox Creative Gaming. Glad you could make my stream. I think it's different. I think it's got a slightly different focus, but I have to admit there is a lot to like about it. I like the idea that it can basically do serious long-term exploration without having to worry about little details like running out of fuel, because its mining capability and its refineries allow it to mine quantanium to make quantum fuel. It sucks in hydrogen, refine that into fuel. This is made for long-term exploration, serious long-term exploration. So in that respect, I think it might be better than the Carrack. I think the Carrack is focused more on the whole discovery of things, like, hit a planet, survey it, that sort of deal. But, we're really not going to have a really good idea until exploration actually becomes a thing in the game. Because right now we have a bunch of various exploration ships, but right now they can't actually explore. But if you want to just fly around and not have to bother with little details like landing on planets or let me rephrase that. If you don't want to have to stop at any outposts or anything like that to refuel because, oh, looks like hydrogen fuel's down to 10%, I better refuel. Oh, I'm almost out of quantum fuel. Odyssey will not have to worry about that. As long as it can find rocks to mine for quantanium, it can go as long as it wants. At least that's the impression I've gotten here. Hangar deck, that's where the binding controls are, and the tractor beam. And I imagine that's pretty similar to the, fracture and extract functionality. I don't think the tractor beam is tractor beam. Although I could be wrong. It's still in concept, so everything I'm saying could be completely way off base. Gather quantanium via integrated mining arm. Oh, good example right there. The medical facility is down here. Another elevator. Vehicle cargo ramp. So it can apparently handle some vehicles. Doesn't say how big. On the other hand, it can handle like 96, they say 96 cargo units. So probably pretty decent. From the image you saw, the tractor beam is not the same as the one on the mole's mining arm. Okay, so we could be looking at some very different concepts here. It's going to be interesting. Oh, and here we go. Cargo bay, vehicles, or 252 SU of cargo. That's a pretty decent amount of space, actually. Tractor beam is on thing. There's a ship hangar, and like I said, I'm pretty sure it can hold things as big as a Saber, so that's a pretty good sized hangar bay. Certainly bigger than the Carracks. And the viewing room, which I guess is there for, seeing the grand vistas that you will experience when you explore. And there's a technical breakdown. 140 meters long, 90 meters wide, 35 in height. The hangar landing pad says extra small, but if it can handle a Saber, I don't know. Hello, Zerogen. Glad you could join the stream. You're dumping your Carrack for the MISC Odyssey. Should you regret this? My guess is no. I don't think you're going to regret it at all. I think the two are going to have a different focus, and so it really depends on what you're looking for. But I am seeing a lot to like about the Odyssey. I'm kind of undecided personally, but I've been known to change my mind on a regular basis, so don't hold me to anything there. Size 4 shields, respectable shields. Crew of 6, size 2 mining laser. Size 3 quantum drives and fuel tanks. The turrets are size 5s. We knew that one early on. Tier 2 bed. A lot of good stuff. Now immediately, the Carrack is the loaner for the Odyssey. Also true. I kind of suspected that would be the case, that the Carrack would be the loaner. I haven't looked at that, but it sounded logical. Haha! But of course, Legend Eternal has a little bit of a thing about the MISC series ships. The Odyssey gives me a Star Trek Enterprise feel. Although I wish there was some science lab in this ship. You know, I could understand, I could see that. I have no trouble imagining that. While he's speaking up there, let me also take a quick second. Let's hope that the bot is actually working today. To give a shout out to Legend Eternal there, because he is the leader of my org, and of course my bot is not working. Thanks Streamlabs for hosing me again. Let's try this again. Okay, looks like the Cloud bot wants to hose me. Well, if you click on his name there, it should give you a link to his channel. He streams on Saturday mornings, and he does a stream for Star Citizen. So go ahead and give him a follow when you get a chance. Okay, pledges, and this is where it gets a little more interesting, because I see that their price point is $625, which is slightly under the Carrick's price tag currently. So I would expect that they're figuring this is going to be a little more advanced than the Streamlabs being exposed recently for being so scummy is a reason to move to pure OBS. Yeah, I was doing the OBS for a while, but then I went to Streamlabs because it had a number of things that made things simpler to me, and, well, I'm horribly lazy. $625 is all new money only. Yes, that's true. But on the other hand, it also has the lifetime insurance associated with it. Yeah. And incidentally, don't think I didn't see your comment there earlier, Legend, about the having picked up the Odyssey. I was watching that part of the chat. Yeah, I don't think that I got the linking thing on my chat there. Give me a second if I can. Maybe I can get the permit thing working for a change. Let's see. If I can get my fake fingers to work correctly. Okay, slap that link up there. Hopefully it'll work. Of course not, because why would the software cooperate with me? Stupid software. Some things it makes easier, some things not so much. One of these days I'll have to start tearing through the various things and figure out what's controlling what. There's also a package they've got where you can buy the Odyssey along with a Saber and, let's see, looks like a Cyclone, so I guess they're not expecting to fit too large a thing on that ramp, but again, no way of knowing. Your Carrick is already LTI, so you just spent $100 to get the CCU. Hey, that's the way to do it. The CCU game, for those who can handle it, is a good way to get your lifetime insurance to go on to the good stuff. And anytime you don't have to worry about paying a whole lot to get a brand new ship, bonus. Okay, so now that we've looked over the page here and gotten all the scoop on the Odyssey, let's zap ourselves right back to the game. Yeah, I don't know if I'm still on. I don't really think I'm going to grab the Odyssey personally because, well, I like my Carrick. But I'm not ruling out the possibility of the future because I have the attention span of a lemming and I've changed my mind more times than I can count. So it's perfectly possible that before this expo is done, I might say, heck with it. It would not be the first time. So we've rented a couple ships. So it's time to do a little flying on one of those. Huff, puff, huff, puff. I realize that, making a huge expo hall is very good for showing the scale and scope of things and giving that sense of awe. But it's also killing my legs to run this far. Ugh. So down to the lobby. And as I recall correctly, the elevator trip up took a while, so the elevator trip back down is probably going to take a while. probably has to do with the way CIG implemented the various expo halls. They just probably stacked them one on top of the other and then just rotated the name of the hall so they could just easily link them. But it still increases the distance. Now tomorrow, you should be able to rent any ship in the game. Because every ship that you might have missed is going to be available. The shape of the Carrack always bothered me, so I'm glad I could get an upgrade. Got the $19 skin too to make it look not like a Carbo. I get that. I understand it completely. Yeah, there were a lot of people who were very disappointed back when the Carrack was released because they made a number of changes to the general shape from the concept art. And that should be your lesson 2 with the Odyssey too, because just because it looks like that in concept doesn't mean that's the way it's gonna look when it's released. So, caveat emptor. Now, I never I never really interacted with the Carrack before it started having its changes, so I never developed the emotional attachment to the original viewpoint of the Carrack. Yeah, it went from Firefly to Penguin. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. Not the Penguin part, but the moving from the Firefly to something else. And I understand that. I personally kind of had a bit of a wince when they changed up the general look and size of the Mercury Star Runner. But it was still close enough for me to say, I'll live with it. I still occasionally miss that big honking engine, though. C'est la vie. Okay, almost at the port. The fuel on the MSR bothers me. Well, you know what? The fuel has undergone so many mutations on the MSR that I just let it slide through me now. I mean, at one point it was the biggest fuel hog in the galaxy. Then it became a lot more efficient, and then they could keep going back and forth with it, so I just adapt. It is what it is, you know? Everything is subject to change. I mean, 2 patches ago, ballistics were the way to go with weaponry. With the last patch, well, not the last patch technically, but the patch before it, suddenly, what ships do I own? The answer to that is too many. Let's just say that, aside from the fact that there was a pandemic last year, it was a pretty good year for me, financially speaking. Let's put it that way. However, I did not go too crazy, so you don't have. I do not own things like, say, javelins or things like that. They taunt me sometimes, but I resist. But I'm sure you'll get a pretty good idea because I'm about to hit the vehicle retrieval terminal and scroll them down, and you'll see that we have a little bit of a list here. Just a little bit of a list. Okay, time for some sadism. The Starfarer Gemini. Now, I found it very interesting that the Gemini could be rented, but the standard Starfarer could not. The Gemini has a couple extra missiles. Thanks for the Odyssey look and overview. I blame you for my expenditure. I'm personally just going to get a lot of satisfaction of telling people that Legend Eternal bought a MISC starship. It will be satisfying. It would be nice if they made the MISC bridge a bit more panoramic. Yeah, someone followed me in the elevator. Yeah, I saw that. But he was actually going to another ship at Hangar 10, so no worries. Not everybody is out to steal starships. I know that's hard to believe. Yeah, they could do a little bit more work with the MISC flight deck designs, but, you know, I think at this point their design language is pretty set in stone. If I didn't already own an Endeavor, that might have held me back. Yes, Legend owns 2 MISC vessels. I keep forgetting that. Okay. Welcome to the nightmare of layout design that we call the Starfarer. I was hoping more for an Enterprise bridge view, but I can see it work. You know, it wouldn't require much to be an improvement. Got here the cargo deck. You can hold vehicles. The cargo deck is kind of funny, though, because it doesn't actually arrange the cargo in any sane function. Moving to lurk. I can't watch the Starfarer interior. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. This area is probably the most straightforward. You go back. You go back. You have a door that opens up here. And I believe this is an airlock. Unless it's a turret. I want to say it's an airlock, though. Airlock to the side, airlock to the side. Nothing big. This one's the easy part. And I'm going to make this look a little easier than it actually is, because it took me like 2 weeks before I finally got used to the layout of the Starfarer. Starfarer used to be a loner for one of the ships I had, and that's why I became familiar with it. Regrets, regrets. Oh, is this going to be manual open? Oh, there we go. So you go up here. And if you want to get to the bridge, you don't keep going straight here. I mean, you could go straight, but this is just going to lead you out to the back where the fueling area is. And that is the one saving grace of the Starfarer. Yeah, my Starfarers became other ships. I had like 4 original concepts. Yeah, after dealing with a nightmare that was navigating the Starfarer enough times, I said to myself, no, I will not be picking this ship up. But it does have the major saving grace, at least it will, hopefully next year, which is the fact that it is a refueling starship. Those big tanks here, they're fuel drums. And theoretically, you'll be able to have a ship dock, well, not exactly dock with this, but you'll probably be able to extend out a fueling arm that they can use to fuel up in flight or out in the depths of space or what have you. And that is going to be the only saving grace of the Starfarer, because, oh my god, it's horrible to wander around. So we'll go out the other side here, and it takes you to this catwalk area. Wander around over here. Now if you go one way, it's kind of going to take you up the stairs, and this is good because I lucked out. I got the right staircase. I'm pretty sure I got the right staircase. I did not get the right staircase. Somewhere around here we've got various unlabeled rooms. Okay, we do have some labelings. Living quarters this way. We've got something this way. And there's crawl spaces, and you know what? I can feel myself going crazy just by the walking through here. Looks like escape pods. Keep going through here. I think I'm going the wrong way. In fact, I know I'm going the wrong way. Still don't think most people will use that fueling unless they make people do it. Well, you know what? I think they are going to make people do it. From everything I've heard about the next star system, Pyro is going to be a larger system than Stanton, which is the current star system in the game. And it has less, shall we say, civilized areas to go and refuel at. So what that's going to eventually mean is you're going to need something to give you fuel other than the obvious places. Not to mention some of those other obvious places might want people to, you know, kill you. Imagine if CIG uses Starfarer style interior for the Odyssey. That would be evil. That would have been truly evil. But they've got the layout on their webpage, and the layout is a lot more sane than it is here. Admittedly, that's a low bar to clear. Now, I think I heard somewhere someone say something that the reason why the interior was designed this way was to try to make it difficult for people boarding the ship to take it over. Mission accomplished. I have the 600i as my daily driver, so it should be fine for fuel. Yeah, the 600i is the origin, and I never remember to include the 600i on the list of exploration ships, because technically speaking, it is. Although it could also be used as it could also be swapped out for a touring module. I've just made a circle around here, didn't I? Ah, thank God, stairs. Run down the stairs. Get me down those stairs. And we're going to go over this way instead. Do I want to risk that ladder? I don't want to risk that ladder. Okay, I think I have accidentally found... Nope, I went back the wrong way. Go back this way. And I think I'm back on the ground floor. I am back on the ground floor, but that's good though, because now I know where I am. 600i needs a med bay of some kind. I think all large size explorers need a med bay. Yeah, you may not be wrong there. Medical facilities are stupid ladder placements. For a vessel that's going to be out of touch for an extended period, medical facilities would seem to be important. Okay, we finally made our way to the flight deck. And there was much rejoicing. That little tour of the interior should be enough to convince you that the Starfarer is the last ship you ever want to be trapped on. There's a reason why I try to avoid derelict missions that involve crashed Starfarers. Alright, let's take this thing off. We'll take it to Tressler and then we'll grab the Freelancer MISC. Let's see, while I'm thinking of it. And there. Always good to have that updated. Yeah, Odyssey equals Starfarer Interior 2.0, just so it isn't better than the Carrack. Well, it does seem like the Odyssey is going to be very easy to navigate on its interior, so, you know, that's right there a big win over Starfarer. Now, Starfarer is a pretty massive ship, so it's also a little tricky. Oh, actually, it wasn't too hard to take off there. It used to be a lot rougher. Pull up the landing gear. Shift the VTOLs if it has any, which I thought it did, but I guess it doesn't. And let's get out of atmosphere. This thing is a big lumbering beast. Made no sense for the medbay on the 600i. Yeah. On the other hand, the whole thing about the 600i is that it's supposed to be an explorer, and more, well, no, not so much that it's an explorer. Let me back that up. It's supposed to be able to deal with modules. I mean, it has the touring module and an exploration module. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that somewhere along the line, they may make a medical module. Of course, admittedly, then it becomes a little bit different than an explorer, but still, I could see the possibility. There's a lot of things that we could see in a future when we get closer to the final version of Star Citizen. You know, sometime in the year 2387 or something like that. It's actually likely to be 2951 by the time Star Citizen enters beta. Yeah, maybe, who knows. I'm hoping when they do the rework in Gold Standard, they add a med bay. Really could be a tier 3 and that'd be okay. You know, actually that would be pretty reasonable. That would be pretty reasonable because it would be pretty crowded in there, but I think it's got the space to work with if they do it. But that would be a significant rework. I don't know how much of a rework they're going to do. But you're not the only person to think that the 600i needs the help there. That's a lot of space to work with. Yep, right there. We'll see we'll see what happens. A lot can happen in the next year. I don't know if I want to say I thought I saw the 600i on the list of gold standards this year. Meaning within the year, not this year, because there's no way it's going to happen in December. But don't know. But I'd like to see it happen too. They're starting this year. It's supposed to be finished in March or April next year. Okay, I can see it. Hopefully it won't get pushed back because, you know, stuff gets pushed back off the roadmap on an alarmingly regular basis. Let's hope that's not one of them. Okay, rather than suffer through the painfully slow quantum drive to go to anywhere exotic, we will go to Port Tressler to set this thing down. I'm excited to see 600i actually gets the best in show skin for once. Yes, in fact, I'm going to actually claim a little bit of credit for this. You see, when they were doing the ship showdown, I made a declaration. I told all my viewers that I swore up and down that the Final Four would include the Drake Cutlass Black. And if I was wrong, if the Cutlass Black lost at any point, the following stream, I would do nothing but fly the Cutlass Black for the entire stream. Naturally, my org, being a bunch of Drake fanboys, decided, hey, let's all vote for the 600i. Which meant that for the first time, Drake Interplanetary failed to advance to the second round. The margin of victory was small enough that I could say my org mates were a significant factor in the fall of the Cutlass Black. So who really won that little scenario? The race was really tight. It was. And I was glad to see 600i get there because even not even just a best in show thing, just for it to get a paint, so it could be something other than bright white all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but come on, we got plenty of ships in this game. All of them have these paint slots in it. Decorate them a little bit. In fact, I was kind of surprised not to see more 600i paints on the Origin Day, unless I blinked and missed it. 600i is a good ship. People just complain because of the price point and because it's Origin. Yeah, 600. I know a couple people who have become big believers in the 600i, particularly with its armament. Yeah, no 600 skins ever. I know. It's just, why make a paint slot if you aren't planning to put paint there? But at least now they have the best in show. 400i skins, no problem. They probably designed it with those in mind too. It's the ships that have been around a while that they probably, you know, have to do special stuff for. But 400i was probably designed with paint in mind. Okay, I'm close enough to Tressler that I can slow down. Oh my god, why am I going that fast? I wasn't paying attention. Slow down! Slow down! Other hazard of Starfarer in its size, it's got a lot of mass, and it's very easy to do something stupid like, I don't know, crash into the station. Let's get a landing pad. Preferably before something horrible happens to me.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
I would love to proceed to my assigned landing bay as soon as I locate where it... Ah, here we are. Down, 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 down. Boy, did I really overshoot it or what? Let's put on the lights. I can't see a thing. Oh! Yeah, that was a little too close. I'm a bit sad that the Crusader C2, M2, A2 use the MISC cockpit aesthetics. Well, you know, it kind of makes sense with the way they designed it. They kind of designed it similar to a jumbo jetliner kind of thing. And that's more or less what you'd see on that sort of thing. Oh, actually, they put me into a hangar, not a landing pad. Makes sense. So let's get ourselves aligned so I don't do something really horrible like crash. Because I've never crashed trying to go into a hangar. Okay, we're good now. One of the things that actually shocked me for the whole C2 Best in Show thing is that their paint apparently is not going to be usable for the M2 or A2s, which really surprised me because even though they say that the C2 and the M2 and the A2 are technically different ships, it's still the same appearance. There's nothing really different externally. So I was rather surprised to hear that. The problem is the Boeing 777 has a better view than the MISC or C2. Yeah, well, you know, you win some and you lose some. Not every ship is going to have everything perfect. Well, usually. It helps that you don't have to really worry about doing a whole lot with the C2 or M2. Well, okay, with the C2 you don't have to worry about a lot because it's mainly just hauling the cargo around and delivering vehicles. The M2, though, is kind of a fighting ship, and the A2 is a bomber. So you kind of want those to have at least a decent view. But the seat's too far from back from the front. I'm presuming that you're in meaning after they scoot you forward, because I know they've got the tracks to take you up to the cockpit, but it might be a little too far back after that. Yeah. I keep hitting... The location of these ladders are another reason why I hate the Starfarer interior. Stop doing that! Okay, side strafe. Yeah, if there's anything... If you want something to make me go dark side, the Starfarer layout is a good way to start. Okay. Escape Starfarer now. Oh, wrong side. The door's over here. Yes, I've been so discombobulated by the Starfarer that I can't even remember where the exit is. Alright, that should be the last time I set foot in a Starfarer, at least until the next expo. Unless by some freak accident they have the Odyssey out by then, at which point, well, if they have the Odyssey out by then, I really won't be using the Starfarer. Starfarer was one of your best purchases because the price jumped from the original concept. Ah, so it had to jump kind of like what the Merchantman is having, right? Because I know the Merchantman started at a pretty decent price point and it's gone crazy since then. So how long have you been a backer, Zero? Has it been, were you one of the early backers, or was it a later thing? I think it's got to be fairly early if you had the original concept access. You are fairly early as a backer. Yeah, I made an account on the Star Citizen site pretty early on, but I only actually backed slightly less than 2 years ago. In fact, it'll be 2 years by the time we get past Christmas. So I'd been following the game for a long time, but I didn't actually back it because, well, for one thing, my computer at the time, I looked at the specs of my computer and I looked at the specs that Star Citizen was expected to have at that point in time, and I went, haha, that's just not gonna happen. But I'd always been watching it. I'd always been paying attention to it because I always knew that someday I would have a system that could fly it, that could run it, and the motivation would be there to finally pick it up. And that happened a couple years ago as of Christmas, once we get past Christmas. And, well, things snowballed from there. If I knew then what I know now, which is a statement I've made many times over the years. Okay, let's update this. Continuing our freelancer theme of the day. 4 Starfarer Geminis went from $250 to $340, $90 savings for ship upgrades. That is a pretty nice bump. That's a pretty nice bump. Getting in on these things at concept level usually pays pretty well. And early on, Star Citizen got mocked all the time for being a scam because, you know, they're just JPEGs, they're just pretty pictures. But I think that CIG has proven over the years that it will back up its promises. Granted, it may take them forever and a week to do so, but they will get there. Where is the back end of this thing? Here we are. Let's see. It turned into Carrack, Orion, Merchantman, C2, and Polaris. And then the Carrack went to an Odyssey. Yeah, again, it's something I'm probably going to have to kick around. And you know what? I might be tempted to do the pledge. I might actually do the pledge for the Odyssey for one reason. Because, well, actually, that's why I was getting ready to say I could always melt it down and get the Carrack back, but the Carrack was part of the exploration pack, so I'd have to melt the pack and rebuild it. That still works. Doesn't matter. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I have a little bit of time yet. You can tell if I'm about to talk myself into it, can't you? Alright, standard freelancer display. Anyone who's been in a freelancer knows what to expect here. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to Hurston, because if we're going to be flying the Freelancer, a ship that has, well, let's take a quick glance, shall we? A ship that has no less than 28 missiles, all of which are size 3. Clearly, we're going to want to throw missiles at stuff. Same standard design. If you're familiar with the Freelancer from other variants, you are familiar with the Freelancer on this one. Oops. Let's try not to hit the floating turret there. That would be embarrassing. I can humiliate myself on my own time. Thanks to the way physicalized inventory works,
Thank you. Please visit again.
I pretty much never fly a ship for combat in anything other than the cheapo undersuit and helmet. At least not until I've got a suitably heavy nest egg. Once I've gotten myself to the at least a couple million in credits, hopefully, then I'll start being more extravagant with my piloting gear. But I'm not there yet. Sadly, because this is the rental, that means I am flying the disgusting quantum drive. It will take me a few minutes to get to Hurston. So, now that everything's, lit up in here, let's take a quick glance back here. Mini cargo deck, and this section is kind of hard to tell because it doesn't look like anything special here, but these I'm pretty sure are missile tubes, or at least missile loaders maybe. I'm pretty certain they're associated with the missiles. If this were the Freelancer Dur, this area would be filled with those big fuel tanks. And the Freelancer MISC, well, the Freelancer MISC has a wider body, so I'm not entirely sure what it's got. And it's got the turret up top there. So, you know, there's nothing new and exciting about the Freelancer MISC. It's just a standard Freelancer with lots and lots of missiles. Now, to be fair, there's a lot to say about having lots and lots of missiles. But one of the biggest things I hear about Freelancers, aside from the fact that, you know, people hate the cockpit, is the fact that we have here 1, 2, 3, 4 seats. 4. You don't need 4. There's no point in 4. You can justify 2. A pilot and a co-pilot who hopefully would be able to act as a missile operator. But the 2 back here, what's the point? What are they going to do? Are they going to play Fortnite on these monitors or something? I just don't see it. I just don't see it. You want to talk about something that could use a bit of modification with the whole gold standard thing? Freelancers could probably benefit from that. I hate all MISC ships. Odyssey being the exception. Well, you know, the Odyssey is probably going to have a flight deck that looks very similar to this one. The difference, of course, is that the 2 seats back here will actually have a purpose. Remote turrets. Now that's a reason to have a seat. I see we're decelerating, so let's try to get back in the seat. Personally, I like the Freelancers. I don't have a problem with the cockpits. Prospectors are decent. There you go. Never mind. I like the Prospector. That's about it. Prospector is a great ship for a starting miner to work with. Something to let them determine whether or not they want to make it one of their main professions. It allowed me to decide that, nah, I'm not really much of a mining guy. I mean, I can do it and all that, but I certainly wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't have the patience to do it for a profit. And really, the way to make real profit on mining is Quantanium. All right. Seriously? They're only going to give me a very low risk threat? Come on now. I've got the bloody, what the heck? What the heck? Oh, here it is. Here's my craning license for moderate risk. I find it interesting that they have both of these here. But I should be seeing, you know, the medium risk targets, and they're not here. Oh, there we are. They're popping up now. Okay. I don't have my HRT certification yet, which really surprises me. Really very iffy about the Orion. Best ship for mining, better than the Mole, and more reasonable to use than the Orion. I think the Orion's time has not yet come, because that's the kind of thing that you would expect to depopulate asteroid belts. That said, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. Hygie Andri. Okay, Hygie. Let's see if this bounty bugs out on me. For those who have not been bounty hunting recently, bounty hunter targets, at least the AI ones, have been a little cranky lately, where the targets show up but the marker doesn't update, and if you kill them off before the marker updates, you don't get paid. Plus, you take a reputation hit. So you kind of have to stall until they get their act together, which is going to be really annoying since, you know, by the time you've stalled long enough, he's going to be close enough for using the missiles are actually going to be a moot point. I may have chosen poorly. but I'm going to be interested in seeing how they work the Orion. I know at least a couple people who have Orions, so I'll be able to crew aboard and see what it's like when the time comes. The time just hasn't happened yet. I have an Orion to Carrick upgrade as a just in case to back out. It's always good to have a backup plan. Oh man, you keep talking about the Odyssey here, and I keep getting myself closer and closer to convincing myself to go that direction. Of course, I have been known to say the heck with it and just go like what the meme says. Why not both? I'm just not going to worry about it right now. The nice thing about concept ships is you don't have to make any sudden decisions. Let's bump the speed up a bit and try to get closer to the marker. Let's see, we've got 4 M5A cannons, I believe, on here, so... Oh, no, they're repeaters. Just as good. I'm good with repeaters. When I was starting out, I used to do bounty hunting and freelancers all the time, so... AI bounty hunting, that is. PvP bounty hunting doesn't work so well. Let's put it that way. Are those you over there? Yep, and guess what? He hasn't got his marker in yet. Of course not. Oh, but he does have his missiles active, doesn't he? Let's toss off a couple decoys so I don't end up being blown up early. And while we're here, let's see if I can get this changed out. No, it's not going to let me change out the menu here, is it? So I'm going to have to guess as to who's flying after me, or more accurately, what... Okay, they're flying a Hornet. Okay, that's going to be annoying. Oh, no, the marker's still there. Grumble, grumble, snarl, curse. And this is why bounty hunting is a pain in the butt lately, because you gotta wait for that neutralize marker to actually go to your target. And sometimes it's not particularly fast about it. Or to put it another way, gosh, a bug in Star Citizen? Who would have thought it? This bug was introduced with the 3.15 patch, so we're hoping that it gets rectified sooner rather than later. My prediction is 3.16. I'm so cynical. That's right, Hornet. Keep flying and shooting me. Sooner or later that thing's going to update, and then you're going to be history. .315 has been so buggy. Yeah, tell me about it. I'm convinced that the only reason it's been released is because they wanted to have something out there for the expo. They ran out of time, and it's like, publish and be damned, as they say, as they used to say in the journalism business. Publish and be... Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's change up our maneuverability here, because I don't want to crash into that thing. Oh, ads. Let's see if I can get paid for them. Mercenary, always, always, always take call to arms. Always. Let's go over after one of those other targets. And let's see if he's close enough to missile off. Ah, wrong button. Ah, notice I got too close to him now. I was too slow. And he's flying a Freelancer Miss, I think. So it's Freelancer Miss versus Freelancer Miss. Who will reign supreme? It would help if I could aim straight. I have you now. Oh, he's got an active turret gunner too. Very impressive. It won't save him, but it's very impressive. Let's see, next target. Oh! Guess who's got hit the target marker on him? New target acquired. Your free ride is over, Heisey. My one regret is I could not missile you to death. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's change the course a bit. I'm flying a little too close to this debris. Let's put some distance here. The last thing I need is to explode because I misjudged my distance and splattered on the enemy target. Oh, no, he's still too close. I was hoping to get a little more distance. Have I used a Redeemer yet? I have crewed on a Redeemer, and let me tell you, I had a great deal of fun playing with being a crew member on one of those huge turrets. We took down a hammerhead in about under a minute. It was insane. Granted, it was an AI hammerhead, but still, hammerhead. I was very impressed with it. If you fly with people on a semi-regular basis, a hammerhead is a Redeemer is an excellent choice. The only downside is those guns are, the big guns are ballistics, and I don't know if they're bespoke or not. So, on the other hand, they kill pretty quickly, so, you know, it still works out. Okay, so here we go, a guy who's far enough to missile, so. Yes, that was overkill with those missiles, but you know what? Worth it. They're not bespoke, you can change them out. Well, there you go, so, you know, you can always swap them out for energy weapons and wreak merry havoc. But I'll tell you this, with the default loadout, it's still scary. And the ballistics actually do have a decent amount of ammunition. So they're not gone in 5 seconds like you'll see on some fighters. And that is worth noting. I like the Redeemer. It's a great ship if you have a crew. Definitely fly with a crew. Just need a couple people. Cheaper than missiles for reloading too. Yeah, but the ammunition is always cheaper than missiles. And missiles, theoretically, cheaper than torpedoes. I'm not entirely sure where bombs fit in the whole mess, but they're probably comparable. I get a new target, which is around the same moon here, so I don't have to travel far. Because I am crazy and insane and doing another one of these bounties where I can wait again for a long period of time until they're so close I can't use the missiles. I don't understand the new high-tech thrusters being equivalent to the Connie, though. Well, you know, I like to think of it as advertising hype. Of course the ship manufacturers want to say their stuff is the best, most advanced, most technologically suited for the task. Of course they're going to say that. They want to sell you their ships. Just like watching car commercials. We have the most fuel-efficient vehicle on the market today. Voted best in class on vehicles that match the description of our vehicle perfectly. Let's zoom in a little closer. I can never stand crawling towards the targets 30 kilometers away. It's not like the marker is going to match up with the target right away anyway. Neutralize Sotaro Munch. You know, I just gotta love some of the names they give targets in this game. Sotaro Munch. Just goes to show that in the future, names are weird. Oh, guess who just spawned in? Sotaro Munch. Guess whose marker hasn't joined up with him? Sotaro Munch. Thanks a heap, Sotaro. And of course, he's firing missiles at me. But it looks like I only needed 2 to get them off of my tail on that one. What is he flying anyway? Oh! Oh! He's flying a Cutlass Black. Well, this is going to be entertaining. Because if there's one type of ship that I love blowing up more than any other, it's gonna be the Cutlass Black. All I gotta do is just wait for that marker to match up. Which, of course, it still hasn't. That's okay. I'm willing to wait for that marker. But even if it doesn't catch up, it'll still be worth blowing him up. Ah, Drake's another manufacturer I hate. Yes, there had to be somebody else besides me. I'm going to make a confession here that my org is full of people who love Drake starships. Oh, good, it updated just in time. So, you know, I'm always taking grief from these guys. That's okay, though, because, you know, I don't hold people's ship preferences against them. It is simply that I hope that one day medical science will find a cure for them. Sadly, this guy is far too close for me to pop with the missiles. I'm hearing that contact received an awful lot. I must be going in and out of the radar range for the guy. Because I know I don't have a zillion ships popping in on my location. Cutlass Red looks like a ship you'd get an infection by being treated in it. Well, I'll give the Cutlass Red this much. They gave the right tier medical bed, which is the tier 3, which is basically, you know, emergency. If you're going to die, you might as well at least have something, even if it gives you tetanus. Oh, another target's further away. Why don't we go after the one that's further away first? There goes a couple. I sure hope that the missiles have better shot at hitting the target than... Ah, nuts, they hit the asteroid. Well, you know. That's the good part about flying a Freelancer MISC, and equally importantly, flying a rented Freelancer MISC. Because I really don't care about the money I might be losing by throwing missiles at it. I'm not going to have it very long. 48 hours and there's history. Okay, you know what? Let's throw in the gimbals. I'm clearly having trouble hitting the target today, so let's let the gimbals help me out a little bit. Actually, if you want to talk about medical nightmares, I would like to point out the clinic at Grim Hex as being the last place you would ever want to be treated. I mean, if you want to know the meaning of fear, one place you could expect to get lethal diseases just by being in the medical bed. Jeez, it looks like I blew off half this guy's wing. And he's still operational. Okay, who's the other guy? Mustang Delta. It really is annoying to have that marker bug with the bounties because it's very difficult to play around with missiles when by the time everything updates properly, the missiles can't be used because he's too close. Frustrating, frustrating, frustrating. But, you know, life is filled with frustrations. Adapt or die. If someone is psychologically unsuited to handle the insanity of many bugs, this may not be the game for them. At least not yet. Okay, let's take a look at the Delphi thing here, just to see where I stand on reputation. I am still crawling my way up the guild member listing. And thank you for the follow. I highly appreciate that. And unfortunately, my Streamlabs is again not updating properly, so I'm presuming it's you, Zero. Thank you. Oh, there it is. It pops up late. Head out, spend some family time. Good luck. Hey, thanks for the follow. I hope to see you again. I usually stream Saturday afternoons at 1 o'clock p.m. for Star Citizen, so hope to see you again there. Bleh, bleh. Having trouble speaking here. And Streamlabs, don't be like Star Citizen. Stop delaying with your markers. So, it looks like I need to continue my murder spree across the galaxy if I want to get those HRTs on my list. So, Melvin Falls. Undoubtedly somebody else who's going to be a problem with his bounty marker. But on the bright side, he's around the moon of Ariel. So let's line it up and get ready to light them up. Honestly, if I didn't need the reputation so badly, I would just missile these guys right away and say the heck with the contracts. Oh, que sera, sera. Oh, there's someone here. Who is floating around this marker? I'm just kind of curious as to what ship's being flown here. It looks like a Banu Defender almost. I can't tell for sure because I can't get a good scan. He's already gone, so I can't scan him any further. No biggie. It's not like I was planning on shooting him or anything because, you know, while it would be traditional to end up in Clutcher at the end of my streams, I'd really prefer not to do so. At least not today. There will be appearances in the Clutcher Rehabilitation Facility in the future. Many times, no doubt. But not today. Today, we're going to line up and hose a legitimate bounty. Alright, Melvin. It is time to inflict some beatings. Hopefully we can get this guy taken out quickly. Incidentally, since Streamlabs is being decidedly hostile about actually operating today, if you've don't play Star Citizen, if you've enjoyed what you've been watching, if you don't have an account, please feel free to make use of my referral code to make an account, and you can play for free for the next few days till the 1st of December, so plenty of opportunities to do so. If you want to fly with a great group of folks, I am a member of the Eternal Writers Org. We have a Discord and RSI page. Feel free to check us out at the Discord. You don't even have to join the writers officially to chat with us in the Discord. We're kind of a crazy bunch, and we love being that. We love the game, so feel free to stop by and say hello, and, well, tell them Korth sent you. Ordinarily, I'd have a timer going on that would have been popping up my referral code and all that throughout the stream, but honestly, Streamlabs kept refusing to shut it off for my Star Trek Online streams I do on Wednesdays. So I'd get these pop-ups for Star Citizen on the wrong game, and, well, I decided just not to turn the stupid thing on this time and save myself the trouble on Wednesday. Ooh, there's another Cutlass Black. I'm going to enjoy this. I always enjoy blowing up a Drake starship. As a Klingon warrior once said, I'm not saying that it should be used to haul garbage. I'm saying that it should be hauled away as garbage. The satisfaction of the job well done. It's good to be able to actually use my missiles as a target. Ooh, well, he went pretty quickly, didn't he? No, he didn't. He didn't die quickly. He just managed to pop off a noise countermeasure to prevent himself from being pasted by that missile. Am I out of missiles? Okay, he's close enough to just shoot now, so... So apparently my missile attacks did absolutely nothing. You can't win them all. And apparently I'm not even winning this one. Sheesh. Gimbals are doing me no good. Might as well just lock target again. And I am flying way too close to this rock. Where are you? Yeah, I'm flying someone who's definitely more maneuverable than I am, so I'm going to cheat now. I'm going to crank up my speed a bit. I'm going to turn off my coupling so that I'm continuing to move in that velocity. And while I'm moving in that direction, I'm going to flip over. And I'm going to introduce my pursuers to a lifetime of pain and suffering. Okay, well, you know what? They're far enough away that I can start unloading missiles on them again.
Target destroyed.
Worth it. Melvin, I'm not done with you either. Load up. Probably need the 4 missiles for this guy. And that is what the Freelancer MISC does well. Unfortunately, I seem to have burned through... Oh, nope, I still have 8 Arrestor missiles to play with, so... We'll have that on my list of things to use. Still on MRTs. I tell you, this is rough. They must have seriously made it a lot harder to advance up the licenses because, gee, Merry Christmas. But as I hope that you're understanding here, the Freelancer, whatever the series, is still a perfectly valid ship to do bounty hunting missions in, at least as far as MRTs are concerned. I'd love to give a demonstration of how it does on better licenses, but unfortunately, I would have to actually get said license, and it doesn't look like it's gonna happen today. But the Freelancer, and the Freelancer MISC especially, they can be pretty tanky for their size. They've got pretty good sized guns. When they hit, they hurt. And what more could you ask? What more could you ask? Well, aside from, having the bounties show up on time, I could ask that, but that's not related to the Freelancer. So I have 8 more missiles to work with before I am completely dry of missiles. That feels like a good area to hit with. Hopefully the marker will hopefully the marker will update quickly for a change. And maybe I'm a Russian jet pilot. I am closing as fast as I really dare to when I'm flying among asteroids. I'll be the first to admit that the Freelancer maneuverability is not exactly what we would call high performance. I mean, it does okay, but okay is not high performance. Oh, and guess who just spawned in without a marker? If you said Mickey Vanderbark, you win the lottery. Well, Mickey, I can't afford to erase you yet, even though you are also flying a Cutlass Black and therefore deserve everything you're going to get. I'm guessing those countermeasures didn't help. I'm still hearing the sound of pinging, indicating I'm being tracked by missiles, but I don't actually see the missiles. This would be what we would call a bug. Oh, that's the occupational hazard. Oh, guess what just updated? Oh, guess who went in missile range? This guy's too close. I'll have to content myself with laser cannon fire. Oh, he went up pretty quickly, didn't he? Go back to the primary bounty target. Suffer not a Drake ship to live. In the constant battle between MISC and Drake, Drake will always end up the loser. Okay, that's not really true, because honestly, Drake ships are built for combat. Well, okay, technically they're built out of garbage and duct tape, but they're still designed for shooting people. And MISC, as a general rule, is not. Final target. I'm still getting that annoying beeping noise from the missile that was fired at me earlier.
Damn it.
Oh, hey, language, buddy. We're here in we have a very PG-oriented audience here. Who am I kidding? Bye-bye. Oops, got clipped there. But I'm still intact, and I don't see any frightening red spots of red on my ship status MFD. Let's take a quick look at my Delphi and see if my reputation has popped up high enough. No, it's still just short. Come on, man. Come on, man. And I don't have any more medium targets, so we're going to go after this one low-risk target. And if this guy doesn't put me over, we'll call it a day. And hopefully when I quantum out of here, I won't hear that annoying pinging noise anymore. Nope. It's just going to go on for the rest of the stream. That's right, let's drive me completely mad. Let's try something. Nope, I turn everything off and it still keeps pinging. I tried. Well, the first MISC can help me by turning off the missile pinging. Maybe it'll clear out when I get shot at by Harumi Meekins. Didn't I say something about how crazy the names were on this thing sometimes? I wasn't exaggerating. Fine, I'll jump to an OM marker first. That's another one of the bugs that's crept in with this patch. And that's not working. You know, we may be wrapping things up sooner than expected. There we go. Doesn't look like the, okay, there we go. Sunlight can make life really rough when it comes to trying to find out, hey, are the asteroids in front of me? Am I going to wreck into a small asteroid? Which is the hidden benefit, incidentally, of the Freelancer cockpit style. Limited field of view, but also an easy way to cut off the sun glare. This is something I approve of. Who needs polarized view screens when I can just lift my attitude a little bit and it's hidden underneath my dashboard? You know, this dashboard really needs a cup holder. I mean, it would fit the MISC aesthetic perfectly if it had a cup holder. Oh, looky. It's Harumi. Oh, thank heavens! I was hoping that the missile shots would cancel that out. And the markers come up on him. Unfortunately, I don't think that one's going to hit him. I have no idea what he's flying, but if it's an LRT, he can't be flying anything really sophisticated. Case in point. Ah, come on. He popped the noise out on me just before I got that first set of missiles on him. Oh, that hurt. And I can't seem to get a lock on this guy. There we go. And that is all the missiles. And no hits. I'm disappointed. What is he flying? Hornet. Well, I did not expect a Hornet for a LRT mission. Then again, he's not the LRT anymore, is he? He's a ad for the LRTs. But he's dead now, and that's what counts. Okay. Final check on Delphi. Where does it put me? It didn't put me high enough. Still standard guild member. Well, what can you do? What can you do? Oh! But the tracker license came up. So at least I had that going for me. So you know what? We will do one more mission. Unfortunately, the bad news is he's over at Yella, which is at the Crusader system. Well, the gas giant of Crusader, which means we're going to have a bit of a trip ahead of us. But luckily, this is a freelancer, and even with the cruddy default quantum drive, it has fuel to spare. The bad news, of course, is that I don't have missiles on here anymore, and I'm not 100% certain I'll be able to restock those missiles. I'll tell you what. We'll make a pit stop at Port Olasar, and we'll see if they'll restock the missiles. I get conflicting reports as to whether or not it'll happen or not. If they don't, I'm not doing a thing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I am lowering myself to pay for more missiles on a ship I rented. That's not a problem. I'll do it. I'll do it if they do it. But if they require me to manually do it off the vehicle equipment manager, sorry, no, not happening. I'll stick with the laser armament. From past experience, I can tell you that I should be able to take out an HRT even with the weapons I have available right now. I just want the missiles. Still, freelancer miss. Doing the job. Kicked off those missiles and blew stuff up. Is there anything more you could ask? I keep looking at that and I keep thinking. That was my halfway quantum fuel message. Still, I got enough fuel. I've got more than enough fuel. If I wasn't going to have enough fuel, I would have gotten the little red message here on the map. And I still have enough fuel. I've got over 1,000. It's going to go soon, but it only takes 633. I have no idea what the units of measure actually are. Don't care. And I can refuel a Crusader too, so. Yeah, we'll refuel the Quantum because I am going to want to eventually get back to Microtech. Because all my stuff is there. I'm going to hold off. Now, the problem with long distance Quantums is that you do have a cooldown. And the cooldown can be annoyingly long sometimes. That was dumb of me. Now, short jumps aren't really a problem because, you know, low cooldown. I think it's pretty much tied to how far you've flown.
Quantum travel complete.
And here we are, Port Olasar. Olasar has the distinction of being where I first started playing the game, because back then, Port Olasar was the recommended starting point of new players. Obviously, things have changed a little bit. Uh-oh, having freezing as... It's one of the little problems they had around some space stations sometimes, that weird things happen. I mean, yeah, this is Star Citizen and weird things always happen, but all the same.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Yes, please, assign me a landing bay.
Landing gear down.
All I want to do is load up on missiles, refuel the Quantum, and hope the ship I'm seeing coming in is looking to get his own fuel and not try to pop me. Oh, it's worse than I thought.
I have been authorized to scan your vehicle for security purposes. Please hold your vehicle and stand by.
Okay, I'll halt. Now. Stupid security people.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Oh, you've got until I've finished refueling, buddy. After that, all bets are off. I am willing to hit Klesher. Let that quantum fuel go up. Let's see. Can I zoom in enough to get to... And I've been loaded with missiles. However, I have not been fully loaded with missiles. They've given me the Thunderbolt 3s, but they haven't given me the other ones. You know what? I don't care. I'll do one more restock if it's available, just in case. I'll give them the chance to load in the rest of the missiles, but they're not doing it. And I wonder if it has something to do with the way they require you to have missiles on the racks anymore. And I wonder if the restock can't handle that. I wonder if that might be it. I don't know. No way of knowing. And I've been here long enough, so if Mr. I want to scan you isn't done by now, tough. It's time to get my license. HRT license, here I come.
Please visit again.
Oh yeah, forgot to put the landing gear up. I do that sometimes. I never claimed to be a paragon of piloting. I am in fact very likely the opposite of the paragon of piloting. Really, if you want to see good pilots, this is the wrong stream. I am content with being semi-competent. And there's a target in the Ring of Yella. And you'll find a lot of bounty targets in the Crusader system are in Yella because, really, Yellow is the home of Grim Hex, the hive of scum and villainy in the Stanton star system. So naturally, if you're going to go bounty hunting, you will find most of them hanging around here. Yes, there's my missiles. Good missiles. I hope I have the chance to use them. While I'm wishing, I'd also like to wish that the marker actually updates quickly and properly. Most of all, I hope we don't have a server crash in the middle of the fight. Servers have been pretty stable with this patch. They may have a whole bunch of bugs, but we're not running into a whole lot of server crashes. Okay, that was just a reflection. For a minute there, I thought I was seeing somebody. But it's just a reflection. Ping my scan, and oh! Did I just see something show up here, or there's just rocks? Well, my radar isn't detecting anybody yet, so I'm not going to worry yet. Don't worry about a problem until they become a problem. That's my motto. That said, I think I just identified a problem. I've identified many problems. But the good news... Well, no, I can't really rely on that. Let's maneuver a little bit. I need hard evidence before I can say, yes, I can pop this guy. Unfortunately, that means I'm taking a risk here. Well, it sure looks like it's following him. But the problem I'm running into here is my missiles are not locking. Okay, looks like we'll have to do it the hard way then. Apparently restocking my missiles has done nothing for my ability to actually open fire up with the missiles. I'm also bugged by the fact that they don't seem to be moving very much. Ah well. You know what? Oh, he's moving now. And I can't get a good look at what they're flying. Is it a... Oh, I think it's a hurricane. I think it's a hurricane I'm fighting. So this will be a reasonably rough fight because hurricanes are pretty well armed. And they've got some durability. They got game. Luckily, Freelancer MISC also got game. Ah, figures. Capacitor out. Need to recharge a little bit before I can start frying them again. I think he got some hits on me, and I think I got some hits on him. And my shields are listing as being critical, which means I am in bad shape. If my missiles hadn't hosed me, I might have had a better shot at this. I'm a little ticked about that. I finally had a marker actually update properly, and what happens? My missiles betray me. Speaking of being betrayed by missiles. I mean, I couldn't even dumbfire the stupid things. And unfortunately, my HUD is kind of screwy because I don't see the target status, which means I can't determine how badly I'm hurting him. Or, for that matter, if I'm hurting him. And what is wrong with the freaking missiles? Ah well, you know, it's Star Citizen. Bugs happen. If the only thing I can use to take him out are my lasers, then by God, it'll be the lasers that I use to take him out. I'm also going to shift this to target status because I'm getting tired of not knowing what shape he's in. Really? How about your shields be under attack? Let's get the gimbals on. Maybe that'll help. I mean, heaven knows it can hardly do worse, right? I feel like I nicked him on that one. Good, good. I accidentally hit my countermeasures a little early, but apparently they were still live enough for the missiles that actually fired to finally go, so... We have a lot of activity flying around here. Do I have another set of missiles coming in? Stop doing that. And this guy's flying away. Oh no, he does not. You do not get to get away. Nope, I think he just turned around. Man, I was hoping to do more damage to him than he did to me, but I don't think either of us managed to do much damage to each other. Well, the guy's red all over. Oh, missile incoming. That sounded like it got a little too close. Oh, I think that got a little closer than hit me. I thought I had him there. It really looked like I was going to finally get the kind of hits I needed to do. There we go! Bounty destroyed. And now it's time to thank these guys for the interference they've given me. And by thank, I mean fill their hull full of holes. Well, there were definitely hits. I can see parts glowing on there. Ugh, I heard that one go by. Having a hard time with some of these guys today. Of course, I might have taken some damage when I wasn't looking. That's interfering with the flight systems. That was a little close there. He was about to... Oh, Gladius. Okay, this guy's going to be rough because he's fast and maneuverable, and, well... I am not fast or maneuverable. That's going to make taking this guy out a bit of an adventure. So you know what? I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I can decouple myself. Crank on the speed. Force him to be chasing me. And because he's chasing me, it will give me an easier field of fire, theoretically speaking. Problem solved. So there we go. Thanks to MISC and the Freelancer Miss, I have gained my certification for high-risk targets, and that feels like a triumphant way to wrap things up for the day. I hope you've enjoyed watching the stream. I will be doing another Star Citizen stream next Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure what we'll be doing because the expo will be done, but you can be sure it will be interesting. I also stream Star Trek Online for Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So if you have an interest in that game, feel free to stop by and say hello. Again, thank you for watching, whether you were watching this live or if you were watching it via YouTube or Twitch video on demand. Always happy to chat with folks who stop by, and we certainly had an active chat today. Hope to see you next time. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.